For the new members, just a,
Roger Stigney?
hi, nice to meet you, Jennifer Bergman.
Hi.
For the new members, just a background on the housing replacement program. I know Gary and Julie are familiar with it. In May of this year, or 1996, the council or the EDA passed the housing replacement program, which authorizes the EDA to purchase dilapidated houses using tax increment for demolition for these houses that are beyond repair. We have purchased one property, and that was at 8265 Spring Lake Road. The house has been demolished, and we will be looking for developers in the spring to redevelop that land. The owner of 8283 Long Lake Road has approached the city staff offering their house for sale to the EDA. An appraisal has been conducted on the property, and it was found that the majority of the house is below average or substandard. The appraisal came back at $55,000, and staff is looking for direction. Number one, for this property, to purchase this as well and to demolish this house. In addition, there's a house to the south of this property, and I think there's a map enclosed in the staff report.
It's $55,000 with the structure that exists there. What would be the appraised value with the structure demolished?
Well, when we demolished 8265 Spring Lake Road, we haven't gone out for quotes on demolition, but for 8265 Spring Lake Road, we paid $6,300 to demolish the home, and that was our lowest bid. We received $3,000.
That just kind of...
Oh, with the raw land?
The lots, but it depends if it's subdivided. I think we took it.
Can I ask a question? Is this the little house by the leaf dump?
Yes. No, not the little one, not the little one.
The
The one right on Long Lake Road.
The greenhouse.
The one that has a driveway from Long
I
Lake
believe his
Road.
name is Nelson?
Miller.
Well, because
Miller,
I talked
Miller.
to the lady that lived that owned that teeny little house.
Yes.
Okay.
Talked to her about purchasing that house, and I thought, geez, is this the same house we're talking about?
Well, we're interested in that one, too.
Is this the one on
What's
Arden?
the appraisal?
The one on Arden?
Is that the one on Arden,
Talking about
Dave?
the
Oh,
one.
the one on Long Lake Road.
Okay, it's the one to the south of
There's
Miller.
a little teeny
Okay,
one sitting
right.
in the
Oh,
back.
that says for sale by owner, that one?
Yes.
Okay, that's on your report, too?
Right, and that's the other house that we would like to consider.
Then there's the one that you have to drive into the park to get
Right.
to.
No, I'm
That's-
talking,
Okay.
okay, have you got an appraisal on that one?
No,
What's the address?
82-7,
Right. I don't know which one you got. For rent by owner, or for sale by owner. I did talk with that. You know what she's asking for?
no. We have not approached that, and we're looking for direction from the EDA as to whether or not we should approach.
I think we should go for that whole parcel if we can. I like your plan, your proposal.
Just so the EDA knows, this is the issue, I believe, this is the house that's got the tenant in it? It's still got a tenant in it?
Okay,
There's
we're
three
looking at
properties.
3 properties.
Okay.
One is the one on Arden, 2510, and that currently has a tenant. That is currently tenant occupied.
Okay.
The 8283 is owner occupied, and that's the person who's is wanting to sell the house to the EDA. Then there's the property south of that, which is 8271 Long Lake Road. That is a rental property, but is currently vacant.
Okay.
And that's why we would like to jump on that house, because if it's vacant right now, we're able to purchase that without relocation, without worrying about relocation of any tenant that's currently occupied that unit. Now, the one on Arden is occupied. I don't know whether or not it's a rental property.
Is the one on Arden, isn't that, as I recall, for some reason or another, I may have read it in the sewer propaganda here too, the only one in the city that does not have city water and sewer?
It does not have, it has its own septic. It does not have sewer, and I'm not sure if it has city water or not.
Okay.
I know it does not have
Okay,
city
it's-
sewer.
It does not have city sewer hooked
No.
up to it?
No.
Okay.
The one at the 2510.
2510 does not have.
Another issue
city
that
sewer.
comes up because of that property there is, I remember almost 3 years ago, the council was looking at the compost site and the problem of security, and the Parks Department was spending over $1,000 a year in hauling out dump items like couches and refrigerators that people would bring in there at night.
Yeah.
And the county always said if we could secure that area, and the Parks Commission felt it would sure save the money. It would, I don't remember, I think it was like several $1,000s a year they were spending just cleaning that out. So, I don't know, it's another side point, I guess. I'd like to see us go for that whole section that you've got marked off in your memo.
And that whole section, as Pam in her staff report too, that whole section can be redone into 3 lots that would front Long Lake Road. There is enough frontage there to
So we
put
wouldn't
3
have
lots
security.
in. 2510, it would be beneficial to have that as well, to make those deeper lots.
Would we have to abandon Arden Avenue then?
Would we have to abandon it?
Yes.
Currently as is, yes.
Abandon the right-of-way?
Yes.
Can I make one comment? How would you consider the location next to that compost pile in terms of the reuse of this land here, in view of the fact that you're trying to upgrade the area? That's quite a high negative, I think.
Yeah.
How do you figure that in?
And it's been discussed, buffers have been discussed along that line where Arden is. Another thing that has been discussed is actually abandoning that road.
I'm talking
Altogether?
about,
Moving the
I'm
access.
talking about the complaints that I've heard from people on the smell factor. It's not the visual here. You can handle the visual here in a number of ways over here, but you got a facility there over here that gets pretty stinky at certain times over here, the way the county handles the thing, turning over.
Well, they don't
So,
compost
This has
anymore.
got to be a fact, and I think
It's a
anybody
delivery
you're going to
site.
sell that to over here, I think you've got to be upfront with them and tell them, hey, look, just like the airport situation.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we have here, you can't go hiding that. You got to figure that into the value of this, real value of this land. I'm not arguing against getting this property, I'm just saying here, this is a factor, so you don't want to deceive yourself to think that it's going to be worth more on pure land than it's worth.
According to neighbors that live in this area, I mean, not all, but some that have come forth in the city, feel that this compost is a real asset, and that apparently there are certain times of the year when the wind does catch it. But from what I'm understanding from other neighbors is that it hasn't been that much of a problem.
Well, I think Bill makes a valid point in that if the city does proceed, and we do turn the land over, it will be with the understanding that whoever buys it will be upfront with
And
the
aware that
compost
the-
issue. That we won't try to sell it in the wintertime and run with the money.
Right.
So later we have to fix the problem of the cost.
Right, because they'll be right back on our doorstep.
Uh-huh.
Which is, so we don't later have to, the city has to fix the problem at our cost, if we don't do it like you say.
But what we really need to do is to continue our concentrated efforts to get the county to keep that thing cleared out so it doesn't get to that condition where you can't live next to it. I know at times I can get it way down on Long Lake Road and I'm 2 blocks south. So, I mean, it has to be. Okay, so we have an approximately $55,000 number on the
On 82.
principal residence?
Yes,
We have no numbers on the other one. Is that what you're saying?
correct.